Auburn had such a great opportunity to turn their season around. They didn't do it. It didn't.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Whew, yes. Welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Hunter Bussey over at the barn hanging out with us as well as a bunch of other places. We'll discuss all of his shows in a second. Auburn losing 74-84 on the road to Mizzou in a game where Auburn was rolling early, and then it was like a different ball game happened. And you just saw Auburn allow Missouri, anytime Auburn did something, they couldn't stop Mizzou from answering over and over and over again. Hats off to a Missouri team that, like, I still don't know how good they are, but it's starting to become clearer that there are going to be plenty of questions around this Auburn team. Hunter, the biggest takeaway is Auburn went into this knowing that this game was winnable, and they found a way to lose it by a lot to where it never really felt close. Yeah, they had that late push towards the end where they got it within 6. And then they just couldn't stop Mizzou from answering. When they knew so much was on the line, you start out 0-2, you have a chance to make a statement against Arkansas over the weekend. You did, and you have a chance to continue that momentum, especially with South Carolina coming up, another winnable game. And you put yourself in a situation to where now you're going to be behind the 8 ball for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I like at one point, like when Freeman had that like half court heave and it went in, and then the next possession had the steal, and then he had a dunk on the baseline. Like, you thought it was going to be one of those nights for Auburn, and then the wheels fell off. And like Charlie Five said it in the Barncast, at some point Mizzou's going to start hitting shots, and they could not. Like, as soon as they started, letting the shots fall, it was a monsoon, and they could not stop. We had no answer for that, and it sucks because you have so much talent on the court, but they're not playing together. We have no chemistry, very low basketball IQ. And whenever we actually go on a run, it's like Tahad is like, I'm going to try to get hot too. And he'll just throw up like a 3. Like, what happened to Tahad? Like, what happened to Tahad? Like, it needs to be studied. He's not going to the NBA. I know that. The way he's been shooting he's
regretting his decision. He has to be.
Yeah, I think he is too. Yeah,
the point guard situation as a whole, I mean, Tahad is inconsistent as it gets at this point, or maybe he's not inconsistent. Maybe that's just kind of what we should expect from him. And then, the decision to not play Caden Magwood at backup point, which, I mean, it seems like, Stevens' quote was something along the lines of failure to meet team standards or expectations, something like that. So you got to assume that it's a disciplinary thing based off of the way that that's been worded. And so, you've got Blake Mashalik, who, like, I mean, he's doing everything he can, but like, that's not a guy that should be in that situation. And he's being, how many minutes did he play?
It was a lot, but he was getting out physical every time he was on the court.
Yeah, he played for 10 minutes, and his plus minus was like he was -9. That's brutal. That's really, really bad.
Yeah, that's not good. And I'm sure the whole Magwood thing, if I had to bet, it's probably a disciplinary thing. Because Steven mentioned it in one of the press conferences, like you were saying, that it's definitely not just Tahad that's showing up late. I think they have a team-wide problem with that, and it's probably with Magwood too. So that's where I'm guessing is what's going on. But it could be something else, and we could both be completely wrong, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm seeing negative comments about Mashalik, how, Blake... This isn't on Blake. Shouldn't be in this position.
Right.
This is a roster management decision, both preseason, which was out of a lot of people's hands, and now in season. That is not on Blake.
Yeah.
So don't put that on Blake. Blake should not be the backup point guard for this team. That should not be his role. He should be the third guard that maybe plays a few minutes every now and then when there's a foul trouble or an injury. This is not on Blake.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to put some of this on Keyshawn Hall. I mean, it seemed like a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago, they made this pivot where offensively, this is Keyshawn Hall's team instead of forcing it, with Tahad and trying to make it, these two guys in a tandem. They're like, no, Keyshawn Hall, this is your offense. This is your team. Back-to-back 30-point games. He went 2 of 9. He scored 10 points. He didn't make a 3. He went 0 for 3. I think some of this is on Keyshawn Hall as well tonight because the expectations for him have been raised based on the way he's performed. I mean, pretty much for the entire season.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And man, it's tough too because like we don't have a vocal leader on this team, and it should be Steven. And if no one else is going to step up, you would expect it to be your head coach, and it's not happening. And I don't know why. You can only go so far with sitting somebody because of disciplinary issues, but that's not really being a vocal leader. That's just enforcing discipline. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's just a lot of questions on this team. Like, how far are they going to go? Like, what next after this? Because you beat a top 15 team at home, and like, what does that say about Arkansas? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about us and what the future looks like.
Yeah, Hunter, you've said that whether it's chemistry, culture, doesn't look like they're cohesive. Whatever verbiage you want to use to describe it, I think they're all correct.
Yeah. And at the early part of the season, like when we were, losing these games against Michigan and Arizona, it was the 1 and 2 teams in the nation. And I was saying, earlier in the season, like, hey, this team has no chemistry. And I was getting torn apart for it. And now we're watching it unfold in SEC play. So I understand like that's negative, but we're watching it right before we just saw it again tonight. Yeah. It's just, we're not a consistent team and a very poor IQ, no chemistry. We don't have anyone that's willing to step up. Whenever like when Keyshawn's had 2 games in a row, 32 points. They were showing the graphic tonight, and tonight he had 13. No one else was stepping up, and that should have been Tahad, and he didn't do it.
10.
So what gives? What gives? You know what I mean? Like and I'm not, sophomore slump. That's cool. That's funny. But he should be isn't he the highest paid player on the roster?
I mean, you have to assume it's him or Tahad.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah. And I mean, early on when you made those claims about Auburn getting blown out by Michigan or Arizona or whoever, I was okay at the time of the seasons. Okay, give it time, but you can't do that once conference play starts. Nope. There's no more, this team is going to age well and figure it out. Like the meat of the season is here. And now you've lost 3 games that I don't think you should have lost. And so I think with the lack of chemistry, that is a coaching thing. That is a coach's job to make all the pieces fit and operate together and let the sum be greater than the parts. That's on a coach.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. Like, all right, Steven, like, I think this team is behind where it needs to be based on that and that alone.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like almost he's waiting for it to click on its own when he needs to insert himself and be like, hey, this is where it needs to go from here on out. And it hasn't happened yet. I'm still waiting on it. And I love Steven. That's what, sucks about this. Like I was hoping that it would be better than this by now, and it's not. Like, and I don't want people to twist this and think, oh, well, Hunter hates Steven. No, Hunter loves Steven. It's just not where we need to be right now. And it's on him. Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, I thought Steven would appear to have more of a hand on what's happening on the floor than he seems to. And I'm fine with him having a different demeanor than his father. His dad's yelling all the time. He wants to stand there with his arms crossed and, kind of look stoic or whatever. Like that's fine. But when your team doesn't seem to like have a plan, okay, people are gonna start asking the question like, well, what do you do? Are you just watching the game? Like what's going on?
like I think we talked about it. Was it A&M when Bucky had his team like almost every single stoppage and play, like had his team in a huddle, and then like Auburn players are kind of walking around, looking around, and Steven's like, I'm not going to say the fetal because that's not what he was, but he was like squatted next to the LED scorers table.
Yeah,
didn't
look like a head coach.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Optically,
yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's definitely different than Bruce, just the personality. And I get that. I mean, you saw that even when Bruce was the head coach. He was more of a mellow, chilled kind of guy, but you can't have that when you're the head coach. I'm sorry. You have to be on your guys, and he'll get on a guy, but it's just rare. I feel like, I don't know. That's just me.
I'm putting this chat up before the break because I can relate to this. Caroline says, I enjoyed the Verizon outage more than that game. My phone still says SOS. That's how I'm feeling about Auburn basketball. Same. I have not had service since 11 o'clock today. So thanks.
I'm fully expecting AT&T to have the same problem.
I hope not, for AT&T customers' sake. Yeah. All right. What else needs to change? Whose performance did we like? And we'll predict Auburn's next 5 games. That's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Hunter, can you imagine buying tickets anywhere other than with our friends at Game Time?
I couldn't. No.
Nope. Whether it's for a football game, a basketball game, a baseball game, a concert, doesn't matter what it is. Game Time has you covered. You can see the view from your seat right within the app. Takes like 2 or 3 taps within the app to find exactly what you're looking for. And you can trust the prices because it's all of it at the very beginning. They're not going to like surprise you with fees at checkout, which is honestly my favorite part of all of it. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's at Game Time. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. FanDuel released Heisman odds yesterday. Byron Brown plus 3,500 odds to win the Heisman. I think it's the 6th highest odds among SEC players. 15th overall, I believe, if I counted correct earlier. So
FanDuel, don't get my hopes up.
Yeah, take that for what it's worth. Take that for what it's worth. Head over to
sorry, go ahead.
Head over to FanDuel.com today to get started. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. All right, as far as like what we did like for tonight, it's going to be a really short list. I think we saw Sway play his best game of conference play. For sure, made all 3 free throws. That's been an issue for him. Went 4 for 5 from the floor, 12 points.
He has a different stroke now. I don't know if you noticed. It's like you can tell he's been working on it, which makes me happy. For sure, because he was not great at free throws at the first half of the season, and I'm glad he's improved on that. But he definitely stood out to me. I thought Freeman played great. He gave a good effort, but I mean,
sure.
As far as and Jovic too, Jovic stepped up big time. He had some good putbacks. So great performances from them tonight. I think that's kind of my wins.
Yeah, Jovic 22 minutes, 4 for 4. I hope his recovery is fine. I would have liked him to play more tonight. Played like 12-ish minutes against Arkansas, and you kind of get the feeling they sat him because, I mean, it was questionable if he would even play. I'd like to know kind of how healthy he is. But we need him. We need more of him for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's final bit of this. Let's discuss what Auburn's record over the next 5 will be. Goodness gracious. They host South Carolina. They go to Ole Miss. They go to Florida. They host Texas. And they go to Tennessee. After South Carolina, it is a brutal stretch. It is a brutal stretch.
1-4.
Hunter, I think I'm going to say 1-4 as well.
Yeah, I'm at 1-4.
Do they get one that then they're quote unquote not supposed to? And they go 2-3 maybe, but man.
Yeah, that
I hate it.
That's tough. I hate it too. It's just not. I mean, yeah, I see some 0-5s in there too. I feel like we can get one at home at versus South Carolina, but yeah,
man.
I don't know, man.
It's by far the lowest. I mean, we've been doing this show for a long time. Like that's the lowest we've done
in a minute.
That Yeah.
in a minute.
Brutal.
Mm.
Brutal. We'll see. Hopefully they turn it around. I mean, hopefully they turn it around. I don't know. A lot would have to change. But we'll see if Steven can do it. He's got a chance to prove a lot of people wrong and a lot of people right. We'll see what he does.
Yeah.
Hunter, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Yeah. So I help my dad produce 2 podcasts. One is called Bubba on the Lake. That is the flagship podcast. I also help co-host and produce one called the Tailgate Show. We actually just recorded and posted our season finale, predicted the national championship this past I guess
Indiana.
Yesterday. Do what?
Did you pick Indiana?
I did pick Indiana. I think it's a safe bet, but we'll see. Miami's defense is pretty good. Keontae Scott's playing pretty good right now for that defense, so we'll see.
Sure.
But yeah, tailgate, Bubba on the Lake. I have a personal YouTube channel, Hunter Bussey. Look me up. Stream every Sunday night if I can, maybe during the week, and then also the big one, the Barn Social Hour over at the Barn Auburn YouTube channel, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. We kind of had a weird schedule tonight because of the Barn cast, but yeah. It's been fun doing that, and with over there with Graham McLean. So I'm enjoying it. It's been a fun ride so far, starting out 2026 with a bang.
Yeah, Hugh and Graham are doing a great job. Love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
I saw something in the chat too, real quick. Someone was asking about my dad's health. He's doing better. He's doing a lot better. So
good. Okay.
Yeah, he had a knee replacement and got an infection in there. For those that don't know. So
I had no idea. I'm glad he's doing okay.
Yes.
He's doing okay.
Yes.
Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.